Greetings, compatriots, and thank you for watching this edition of Meet the Candidates 2024. My name is Jonathan McLeese, and I'm a compatriot from Admiral Raphael Sims Camp number 1321 out of Dearborn, Michigan. And I'm here with my co-host.
Nice to meet y'all. Vinny. Some of y'all know me as Cousin Vinny, but I'm Vinny Balducci, compatriot from the private Meredith Pool Camp 1505 in Hamilton, New Jersey.
And for the next little while, we'll be chatting with Tony Griffin, a candidate running for Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief of the Sons of Confederate Veterans at the 2024 National Reunion of the SCV in North Charleston, South Carolina this upcoming July. Before we get started, let me deliver the following disclaimer. This program and the views or opinions that follow are not authorized or endorsed by the National Sons of Confederate Veterans, its General Executive Council, any of its Army departments, divisions, brigades, camps, or any other subsidiary of the SCV. This is simply a program made by SCV members for the benefit of the SCV membership, giving members an opportunity to see and hear from the candidates running for offices in 2024 that have a position on the General Executive Council. And now, without further delay, we're going to bring on our guest. Thanks for coming on today, Tony.
Y'all are welcome. How are you doing this afternoon?
We're doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing great.
Awesome. Awesome. Are you ready to get started?
Yep, let's roll.
Awesome. Before we do any of the questions, if you would just briefly introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about your background and your SCV credentials.
All right. I'm currently the Virginia Division Commander for my second time around. First time around was 2016-18. I've been on the Virginia Division DC since 2012. Started out as Division Adjutant, then went to Lieutenant Commander, past Commander for 4 years, Commander again, and I have 4 more years after April of this year. I'll be past Commander again. Greatest job in the division. But I spent 32 years working for Virginia Power, and before that, spent 8 years as a Navy nuke. And that's pretty much where I am right now. Retired citizen since September of 2022.
Totally awesome. Totally awesome. Vinny, if you want to, go ahead and ask the first question.
Absolutely. So the first question, in about 2 minutes, could you please sum up your candidacy and the purpose of your running for your respective office?
Sure, I can do that, I think. Y'all probably know, first I was running for Army Commander, ANV Commander, and that I announced in June of last year before the convention and was planning on running for Army Commander this whole time. Well, in December, got a phone call, and I was told that for personal reasons, Ron Kennedy was no longer running for Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. So I was asked to run. Then I got another phone call, was asked to run, and kept getting phone calls and asked to run. So I thought about it a little bit, talked with my wife about it. You know, you got to get permission from the wife before you can do anything. That's just the way it is. So I agreed to run for Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief, and I, appreciate those that called me thinking about me, and it's an honor to be thought of in that way, to be asked to run for this position. And I just want to help the SCV in any way I can, any position I can, whether I win, lose, whatever. I'll volunteer to help anybody. If someone else jumps into the race and wins the race, I'll be the first one to congratulate them and volunteer to help them out in any way I can. And I also like to thank Ron Kennedy, especially for all his service that he's done to the SCV, especially in his Chief of Heritage Operations. And Kennedy brothers have been really great. I talked to them this past weekend at the SD Lee Institute, and we're already working on things. So I guess that's about it right now. So
that's fantastic. That's great. If you could, please define the function of the office that you seek and what qualifies you for that position.
Okay. Lieutenant Commander in Chief's primary function is recruiting and retention. He's the recruitment and retention committee chairman, and he also does any other jobs that the Commander in Chief has for him. So that's recruiting and retention are going to be one of my main goals as we go forward if I win this race. So that's the big thing. And as far as what qualifies me, I think I mentioned already, I joined the SCV in 2002, I think it was, 32 years anyway ago. And during that time, as I said, I've been camp commander for 10 straight years. And since then, I've been camp adjutant for this my 6th year, then 12 years on the DEC in various positions, including twice as division commander. So I got leadership experience, and I think I can help the Commander in Chief with anything that he needs done. And that's where that's at too. I think primarily the experience I have right now with all the leadership positions I've had in the SCV. So.
Absolutely. And leadership is definitely a huge part of it because you learn more from each position. And part of that comes, communication. So my next question is, for years, there have been discussions about improving communications in the SCV. If elected, how would you propose changing the communications for the better?
Both of y'all probably know communications is a sore subject with a lot of people. And it's not, I think the SCV is doing a great job trying to get the communications out there. It's a lot of times it's the membership that's not opening, looking at the emails, the telegraph, the different divisions thing. In Virginia, we have the Signal Corps, which is our email system that we put out any important information to the membership here. And we have about 50% of the membership signed up for it, but only of those 50%, only about half open it up. So we have just encourage everybody to sign up for Nationals mailing, your division's mailing list. Watch the chat. That's a great source of information getting put out communication wise every week, usually twice a week. There's something on. There's other sources around. Benny, your monuments over Dixie stuff and all that, across Dixie. Florida Man's got a chat down there. There's all kinds of sources that you can get information from and get communications about what's going on in the SCV. So there's really no excuse. But I think our thing is we need to encourage everybody to use these sources that we already have and try to get the membership involved more. So hopefully that will help a lot if we can just get everybody to use what we already have out there, and as we try to increase the communication systems. Now, I've already been working with other divisions and people running for office, working on a mailing list for the different divisions in the A and V. So current A and V, one of the other guys running for A and V commander right now is set up an email system that he sent to the division commanders. And we're trying to get that all set up so that we can have the communication system down. And that's just another way to increase it. If every level of the SCV will put out stuff, we try to forward it, communications out. And I don't try to slam people, especially in the division with all the emails. I just try to put out important things that they need to know about. Like here in Virginia, we're having a lot of bills going through our government up in Richmond that are taking away things Confederate, our license plates, the UDC tax status, and other Confederate items and stuff. So all these things are getting put out by email, and we're encouraging our membership to call in, email, write, etc. So communications is an important topic, and hopefully we can encourage the membership to use what we have already, because we do have a lot. Okay.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important, is one person or one branch can only do so much with the communications. It takes everybody passing it down the chain. And so we all have to work together toward that effort. My next question is, do you support the SCV being involved in community service projects, helping those outside of the SCV? If yes, what ideas do you have for doing so? And if not, please elaborate.
Oh yeah, by all means. I mean, the more exposure, good exposure we get in the public, the better. And I know several camps in the Virginia division work with the local food banks, passing out food. They go to the old folks' homes, try to help out there. My camp specifically, we give high school scholarships. We have 2 we give out every year. And those are just some of the ways right there. Road cleanups, that's a community service. Several of the camps do that all across the SCV. So the more you can get involved, join your local, what's the thing that they have there in town where all the businesses are together and meet.
Oh yeah, like the Rotary Club or something like that.
Yeah, you can
That's right.
do that. But the community, there's I'm drawing a blank right now, but
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce, that's it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mind goes, but yeah,
well, hey, the idea is what counts.
What's that?
The idea is what counts.
Yeah, it was there. It just didn't want to come out. But yeah, that's anything you can do that puts the SCV in a good light is great, and I encourage it 100%.
I love that. And the definitely creative ideas. The Chamber of Commerce is quite an innovative one. And
that's been one of the ideas for a while. We have encouraged that in Virginia for a long time. And several of the camps have joined their local Chamber of Commerces. And, unfortunately, with the way things have gone the last few years, you're not looked at in such a good light in some of the areas, but, you just got to try to maintain a positive image wherever you go, and don't let these people detract you from what you're trying to do.
Amen to that. Never give in. Stand, fight, and never back down.
That's correct.
Is a motto I like. And I like how, thinking like that. So my next question just kind of elaborates more on that. And it's what new and innovative ideas do you have to increase long-term revenue coming into the SCV?
Well, besides recruiting new members and retaining members, and that's an automatic way to increase revenue, and it's nothing innovative or anything about that. It's just getting membership up. We've been stalled at the 25 to 30,000 level for seems like forever. And I know COVID kind of put a damper on things, and we lost quite a few members during that time, but it's time to build back up with that. Get past members, get a delinquent list out. I know we did this years ago, quite a few years ago. I think I was division adjutant, which was from 12 to 14. National sent out a delinquent list. And I think Virginia division, we had about 1,000 members on that list of people that hadn't renewed over the years. And so we sent them out to each camp to try to get them to approach these people that had let their membership lapse and get them back involved. And we were successful in quite a few. There was one camp that had over 100 members that used to be in the camp. And
wow.
For some reason, it's just over the years, they just dropped. I definitely know not all of them passed away. A lot of people just join and they get the certificate and then they lose interest and they're gone. But besides the membership bringing in revenue and donations, as they always do, we up here in Virginia, Vinny, you were at the Lexington at the Lee Jackson event when I gave a $10,000 check to Commander-in-Chief Boshears. And that was from just out of nowhere. That check came to us from a group up in Arlington, Virginia, and they just wanted to help with the monument stuff. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, we turned it right around and passed it on to National because it was supposed to help with the Arlington Monument, the fight there, the lawsuit. So there's all kinds of grants and stuff, especially with the museum. that I know the Order of Southern Cross, we've used them in Virginia. National's got grants for those new cases down there. Anything that we can get any kind of money from to help offset the expenses of the museum now and the debt that we owe, and the sooner we get that debt paid down with any kind of way we can generate more funds. Like I said, we got to go out and look for all these things that we can get these grants or whatever, fundraising. I've already had discussions with I'll just go ahead and say I've already had discussions with the Kennedy brothers while we were down there at SD Lee. There's things going on that we're discussing now that they'll be discussing at GEC meetings and stuff. So I can't go into a whole lot of detail with a lot of stuff that's, coming up in the future because it has to be approved. So, but, just the things I did go over, we definitely got to get money, because one of the big things we got to do is get that debt for that note paid off at the museum. I think as of this past weekend, we were sitting about 1.2, 1.3 million. It's come down a lot since the National Convention in Hot Springs. And if we can get that loan paid off, we'll have $12,000, $13,000 extra a month, not going to interest. So that's a lot of money right there that we can use for promoting the SCV. So it's a lot of things going on right now.
That was a great answer, Tony. And we have to seek every avenue that we can for financial, to build up finances in this organization. We've got so much working against us that there's very few avenues that we can turn down without giving it some consideration, because we need it. I mean, as I've said to so many people, thank God we're not fighting this fight with bullets right now. Right now, our ammunition is money. But unfortunately, it's just like regular ammo. It's in short supply right now. So that was a great answer. All possible avenues need to be explored. So my next question for you, if elected, what are your goals and objectives for the first year?
Okay, a lot of that was already answered, because one of the big things that I'd like to see happen that first year is to increase our membership numbers and retain the members that we have, and also lower that debt. And I think those are the two main goals that I'd like to see happen in that first year. If I can get that accomplished somehow, just my little part, I would be happy at what's going on in the first year as Lieutenant Commander in Chief. So that's I think those are the two major ones right there. We have to increase our membership, and we have to get the debt down. And that's what I'm looking at.
I think any measurable strides in those areas would be a great mark on the first year. Absolutely.
And I love those ideas, right? Membership, communication. And my next question just kind of builds on that a little bit. And it's, how do you define effective teamwork within the SCV?
Southerners like to fight. We all know that. We have a lot of internal conflict that we have to deal with in the SCV and amongst ourselves and other organizations. And as far as the SCV goes, we have to put aside any differences we have. We can agree to disagree on things and still get along like brothers we are. I've fought with my brothers growing up like crazy, but yet we all come together in the end. If someone attacks us, we're going to join together and attack them. Well, it's the same thing with the teamwork. And I think there's just a couple questions here in a row like that. Part of that division, we have to be SCV first. That's our primary thing. We have to be SCV first. I don't have any problem with people belonging to other groups or heritage groups. Vinny, you got your own thing going, and it's great. We all are after the same goal, to protect our heritage, protect our monuments, our flags, our ancestors' good name. And we can agree that that's what we're doing, and we have to work together. We're all out there for the same purpose. And we're going to disagree on things, but we have to focus on the fight that we're in now and not fight each other. That's what the other side is looking for. They're looking for us to tear ourselves apart. And then they can jump right in and just wreak havoc amongst us. And unfortunately, they're good at that. And we need to be better at joining forces and working together. So, and I think that, like I said, if you belong to any other organization along with your SCV membership, I have absolutely no problem with that. But when you're in the SCV meetings or convention, whatever, you're SCV first. Go out, do your other things. Don't embarrass the SCV. Don't embarrass yourselves. That was one of the things I did. We were having issues in the Virginia division. Someone trying to call me. We were having issues in the Virginia division several years back, and with other heritage groups, SCV members belonging to things. And I sat down with them. We called a special meeting and sat down and talked it through. We got the Army commanders and councilmen involved, and that's exactly what I said. I said, we're all together trying to do the same thing here. We just gotta let each other alone. Don't embarrass each other. Just go out there and let's do our thing. Don't let anybody attack us. And not only we called a special meeting to resolve issues like that. When I was commander the first time, I basically said that. I said, I don't care what any of y'all do outside of the SCV, as long as you're not doing anything terrible, committing crimes, whatever. Just don't embarrass the SCV. And when you're at the SCV, be SCV members. And like I said, we're never going to get along on everything, but we can agree on the things that we need to do to fight those that are fighting against us. So that's about all I can say about that right now.
I think that's a 100% accurate what you just said. I know that I'm eligible, and again, like you said, nothing against anybody being a part of other organizations. I'm eligible to be a part of a lot of other organizations, but the SCV is the one that I know of that is under attack, and our cause is under attack, and that's why I've put so much of my focus on SCV. And Vinny's doing the same thing. SCV and the monuments across Dixie they work hand in hand, even though they're not affiliated. They have the same goal. We have to protect our monuments, and we have to work and strive to see that our heritage is honored and that those soldiers' good name is defended.
Well, John, I'll tell you a little clarification there. It's not just the SCV. It's any Confederate heritage group that's under complete attack by these people. So
yes, that's very true.
They're after everything. So
100%.
They want us dissolved completely. They want us out of the picture. So, and they're doing the best that they can to do it.
You're absolutely right. So the next question that I have for you, is going to touch on problem solving, and just maybe tell me how you have solved a problem that you were faced with. Doesn't have to be in the organization, but it could be, but using your own initiative or out of the box thinking.
I think that I kind of answered that with this last thing. We were having the issues going on in Virginia, a lot of infighting, and we called that special meeting using the A&V command and pulling together the different camps with the different members that also belong to other associations and stuff. And we got that calmed down. And then when I was commander, we had a real good detente with the other groups. And it's even the relationship has even increased a whole lot now. Vinny saw me earlier, well, last year at a picnic that I was the first Virginia Division commander to ever go to, I think. And so that was an out of the box one there, I'll have to say. 'Cause,
That was awesome.
yeah, somebody was real happy I was there. There were some people in the SCV that weren't too happy, but hey, it is what it is. Like I said, we're all fighting the same groups, and we have to work together. So I made a decision, and I'm sticking with it. And that's I can't go into any details on that, John, but
No, that's okay. That's okay.
but
Absolutely.
yeah, that's it on that one. Well, let's move on.
No problem.
Absolutely. So mine kind of shifts away from, all problem solving and all that. And I liked how you mentioned, other organizations, right? Because there's a lot of people that, especially where I am, that might not have ancestry, but they have that Southern heart. They want to help where they can. They might have witnessed iconoclasm firsthand in their own country. So my question is, what are your thoughts about the associate membership program at the camp level and Friends of the SCV program?
Oh, I love them. The more people we get involved with us, the better. I mean, and who knows? Some of the people that join as friends or associates, they don't know if they have an ancestor or not. But yeah, sometimes we find ancestors for those people. But anybody that wants to be associated with us that has the same goals as us and wants to protect that Confederate heritage and all heritage, basically all history, as far as I'm concerned. It's they're not just attacking us; they're attacking everything.
Absolutely.
And, they're attacking this whole country, our founders, everything. There's no doubt that they just want to change the way the country's run and just leave us out of the picture completely. But the friends and associates is a great thing. And not only does that bring more revenue into the SCV, but it brings more people in and more projects getting done. A lot of these people are big time donors that come in like that and join as friends. People that own companies and stuff. We've had, people in the area here join as friends, and they support us a lot. And that's something we need. And I push that 100%. If someone comes to your camp and says, "Can I join?" or "How can I be a member?" Well, if you can't be a member, push that associate membership or friends membership 100% all the way.
I love it. I think you're right about that as well. And I know also there are some camps who they don't have a lot of actual members, but they have maybe more friends than they do actual members, or maybe more friends who are active than active actual members, and they help keep those camps going very strongly.
See, my camp, like I said, we invite everybody. We got not only the SCV members, we got a lot of the ladies' wives and stuff are UDC members. OCR and other camps come to our camp. So we have a good sized meetings all the time. We try to, encourage everybody to show up to the meetings and support each other in the area. And there's several people that are, not like I said, they can't be members. So we're trying to push that join as friends. But yeah, we got to do this. I mean, that's one of the ways to spread the truth about the SCV and our Confederate heritage, is get more people involved in it that'll go out there and spread the truth. So if I could get the whole high school and middle school kids all joined up like that, that would be a great thing too. If we could, or get their teachers involved.
Oh yeah.
Amen to that. And that's education is such a big part of it. And the youth,
Yeah.
We have got to reach the youth and the education and teachers, especially, because they'll be able to fight back against a lot of these textbooks. Because as an educator myself, I've witnessed that these textbooks originally started attacking just the South. The updated version of Pearson attacks everything from American Revolution, War of 1812, all the way up to World War I is the recent war they're coming after as a war of imperialism. And who knows, World War II is probably going to be next.
Yeah, I know. When my kids are now they're adults, 28 to 34. But when they came home from school with their books and their standard of learning tests and all this kind of stuff, I used to say, what did they teach you about the war? And they'd say this and that. And I say, well, that's wrong. They would go, yeah, we know, because my kids have been in the SCV since they were young enough. So, and that's what we got to do. And that's a great thing about, I might be skipping ahead, but the youth, getting them involved. If you got kids and grandkids, nephews, nieces, even, for UDC or OCR, get them involved, start putting that bug in them early and plant that seed, so that even if down the road they may not be active in their 20s or 30s while they're setting up, getting college out of the way, getting families out of the way, but you got that seed planted and they'll come back. And we have to have that. I was talking to someone earlier today about that, and said the young kids is where we need to plant the seed right now. I think trying to go after the 20 and 30-year-olds is okay, but those are the ones that are trying to establish their lives right now. And if they don't have that seed planted already, when they're late 30s, 40s, if we can hit them too, they got the kids that we're trying to get to. So if we get daddy involved and we get the kids involved, then we can get established. Like we're saying, this has been Jack Marlar. He used to go around traveling to camps and stuff, and I forget what they called it. He had a position at National, and but he would basically recruiter. And he would say, if you could everybody in the camp could just bring in one new member a year, you'd double every year. If you did that every year,
that's right.
Just imagine how big we'd be. But a lot of people are afraid to talk about the SCV in public, especially these days. So you just can't be afraid to do it. I mean, I know some people that have jobs that would be in danger is one thing. You can't talk about it at work. They won't let you, but in public, one thing. When you're in private, tell them, say, this is what we do. Invite them to a camp meeting, get them involved.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
So I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. Earlier, we asked you the question about defining the office that you were running for and what qualified you. So the next question is going to be similar. It's going to sound a little similar, but it's actually a different question. If you were to win this upcoming election, what does the title of your respective office mean to you?
Never been much for titles. I never went looking for a title. When I joined the SCV, I never thought I'd be a camp commander, much less division commander. And division commander 2 times around now, and never thought I'd be running for national office. All I ever wanted to do was just help out the SCV in any way that I could. With, if I'm just the average SCV member. There's all kinds of people out there, all kinds of talent out there. But getting those of us that have that desire to volunteer to help out is the hard part. I know but as far as the title goes, Lieutenant Commander in Chief, it's an honor to be asked to run for it, and it'd be great honor to get it. Like I said, the title itself, I wouldn't let it go to my head, because, like I said, I'm just Tony, man. I'm not, everybody comes up, commander, for division commander and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just Tony, man. I'm here. I'm just doing a job like everybody else here. No matter what, the regular members are the most important. So that's the way I look at it.
You're very casual, and I've always loved that. Very approachable. I remember the one time I didn't even realize you were commander, because you just blended right in, and I loved that. I was like, oh, Commander Griffin. You're like, no, it's Tony. It's Tony.
Yeah, that was that first time, I think.
That was, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. And you're like, no, it's all good.
No, it's just me, man. That's it.
I love that. So definitely along that, I like how you have this, really cool mantra where it's, casual but effective and really about listening to people, hearing them, not just regular listening. You go to the active listening, motivational interviewing. I could definitely see being a skill that you use to, bring people together. And one thing I want to know more on for my next question is just about, how do you determine or evaluate success for the position that you're running for?
Kind of answered that a little bit. I think that as far as being a successful lieutenant commander in chief, I think as long as I can make sure that we don't lose membership, increase that membership, decrease the debt, do everything I can to promote the SCV in a positive image to the public. And that's it. Just be honest. I'm a terrible public speaker. I don't like getting up and giving speeches. I got ambushed Monday night at a camp meeting I went to. I was just going as my camp member. I was a charter member of this other camp, so I was just going down there to visit. And all I had on was a life member shirt and jeans. And I get there, and the camp commander comes up, Tony, I need your help. My speaker's got COVID. And I was like, oh no. I wound up standing up there for almost an hour talking, but success of this position is as long as we can work together with the GC, get along with everybody, work together and promote our heritage. I think that's the success I'm looking for. So
That's awesome. That's great. I know we've covered a lot of the questions that we've had prepared. We've covered them. Some it seems like a couple of times, and so I'm trying to not ask the same question over.
Yeah.
But the question that I'm going to ask you is this, and you've touched on it maybe a little bit, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are member views and thoughts in the direction of the SCV important to you, and why? And how much do you value the concerns of the membership?
Oh, that's very important. One of the first things I did when I was elected Virginia Division Commander is put out my home number, my cell number, and my work number on the division page, on my cards, everywhere. Gave it and told the membership to call me anytime they needed some. They didn't have to go through their camp commander. They didn't have to go through their brigade commander. I said, my phone is always there, and I'll always answer it. And if I don't answer it right away, leave a message and I'll get right back with you. So the membership's opinions and their ideas, that's how we learn things and how we grow the SCV and how we promote the SCV. And there's a lot of people out there. Like you said, there's a lot of smart people out there that have good ideas. We got to listen to them. And I don't have a problem. Anybody wants to call me, I'll listen to them. I flat out listen. They call complaining about something, they call with an idea. It doesn't matter. I listen. If I can help them out with their complaint, I'll try to do that, or put them in contact with someone that can help them. Or if they got a good idea about something, hey, I'll give you credit for it, because I'm not looking for credit myself on things. I just do anything that we can do to help the division, the SCV as a whole, not just the Virginia Division. I'm always thinking about the Virginia Division right now, but only 2 more months, guys. And I still will be the Virginia Division past commander and on the DEC for 4 more years. So, but it's all good. The camp, divisions, national, everything. We gotta promote it all and help it best we can.
Absolutely. And that's Southerners too. You get hooked on your state as that statesman mentality. So you're always going to be Virginia first. And I am always a little bit more biased to Virginia and Maryland because I have ancestors that hail from those states, including Western Virginia. That's my little area right there, my baby.
Well, I got ancestors that fought from Virginia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Kentucky. So I don't have one. I'm a Floridian by birth. I've been up in Virginia now for over 40 years. I got up here in the Navy and stayed here. But I love every state in the South, man. I could see living in almost any one of them. But it's
I know from my perspective, unfortunately, not by any fault of my own, and certainly not by my choice, I was born and raised and live in Michigan. But all my blood comes from Kentucky. I'm a Kentuckian in all of my being. And when I think of home, I think of that little piece of property that's been passed down through the generations, straight from my Confederate ancestor on down to where we're at today. That I have a little place that I go back to multiple times a year. And, with that being said, Kentucky SCV, I keep up with them and see what they're up to. I follow what they're doing because I care about Kentucky and the SCV and honoring Kentucky's Confederate veterans. So absolutely, we have these little connections. No matter what office we may ever hold or where we're at in the country, serving the charge, we've got those special places in our heart.
And following the other divisions is a good way to find out what's going on, and you might pick up something that you didn't think about. I follow a lot of the divisions as Virginia Division Commander, just for getting the ideas and watching the SCV chat. You get a lot of good things come out of that. Especially when the different division commanders come on there, and you go, "Wow, why didn't I think of that?" And there's been a lot of times like that it's like some good ideas come out of all these things. The Facebook pages, all of it. It's a great way to learn and see what's going on, and maybe get some new ideas to help your division out or your camp out. And so that's the chat time. Sometimes I forget, because they're on that different time zone out there, so we kind of mess things up once in a while. But I have to watch the reruns a lot because I'm doing something else. But I like getting on there watching the live chats because it's and being able to comment on it and stuff because it's fun getting on there and watching with everybody else. But yeah, it's
well, I like watching it live where I can comment on Facebook, but I also like to watch it on my TV screen via YouTube. And I can't comment when I'm doing that unless I've got my phone there and I'm doing Facebook on the phone and YouTube on the TV.
That's what I do. I got it on the big screen on YouTube, and I'm watching it on, the comments on the phone. So we can.
And it's a fantastic way to hear from others. I mean, the commander's comments and the look around the Confederation, especially, those are fantastic programs to hear what's going on, to stay in touch with what's happening in the organization. And then just being able to sit there and comment and chat back and forth with compatriots from all over the country and even the world. I'm sure there's international folks getting on there at times. I know we have a camp member here in our Michigan camp, but he lives in Canada. And so, again, internationally, you have the opportunity to communicate, share ideas back and forth. It's fantastic.
One of the members of our local camp down in Virginia Beach, he lives in one of the islands off the coast of England.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. That's awesome. I can't remember if
it's Guernsey or one of those. He lives over there. So that's a long distance. A camp member there. Hard to
you betcha, man.
I've seen him at a couple of national reunions, so he comes over occasionally. COVID put a damper on his travel, but it's is what it is.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know about
camp members is from England as well. We're chartering a second camp in Jersey, and we have one in England, and we have a friends member who's in Australia. So we do like half the stuff on Zoom and half the events in person.
Well, that's good. I mean, I said, the more people we can get in, and whether they're international, that's even better. You know, spread
right.
spread it all around.
Well, I don't know about you, Vinny. I think that a lot of the other questions were covered in previous answers, and I don't see the need to, make him go back and re-say the same thing over again. You've done fantastic tonight,
Done wonderfully.
and we really appreciate you coming on. I want to just say thank you for being willing to come on the program and speak to the membership, and particularly to be willing to come on this, little program here and speak with us and be put out for the membership to hear what you have to say.
No,
Do
it's my
you
pleasure.
do you have anything else that you would like to say to the membership before we close out the program?
I would just like to encourage everybody to register for the Charleston convention. I mean, it's a great time down there. They got all kinds of awesome stuff to do, all kinds of things to see. It doesn't matter who you're voting for, who you're supporting, whether you're in your armies or at the national level, just register and come down. I mean, it's a great time. You meet a lot of good people. I mean, even Vinny's going to be there.
I'll be there. Say hi, y'all. I don't bite.
Oh, I was supposed to mention too, Vinny, you got a new hair color or something going on?
I do. If you notice.
All right.
Rebel red.
Looking good, man.
That's fantastic.
You notice.
Oh.
Oh no.
Well,
there you
I'll
go.
tell you what, my hair color won't change, but good Lord willing, I'll be down there at the reunion as well. I went to my first one 2 years ago, and I'm telling you what, there's absolutely nothing like being in a room with all these compatriots from all over the country. I mean, we have our camp meetings now here in Michigan. We're not as big as what the meetings and the gatherings are down there in Virginia or in other places in the South. But to have everybody together all at one place, gosh, that's incredible. And we all have that same common heritage and the same passion for it. To have all of us stand up, see the parade of flags, sing Dixie. Oh my goodness, it's a special time in life when you can do that. If you've never been to a reunion, please consider making it out. It's going to be a fantastic time.
Yep, and I'm getting ready to hit the Division Convention Trail here soon too. So I'll be heading to South Carolina soon, and then right after that's ours, and then right after that's North Carolina, and then I might be hitting the Deep South some later on in May timeframe. We shall see what happens, but I look forward to going to these other conventions too and meeting all these people. Like I said, I had a great time at the SD Lee event here this past weekend. It's like a mini convention without all the stress of the business meetings, and it's very enjoyable. And if y'all haven't been to the museum, I was very impressed with what's been done down there at Elm Springs at our National Museum. So if anybody gets a chance to go. I mean, it's ours, and we're paying for it now, and go visit it. It's turned into a really nice museum. So other than that, I enjoy being on here. Thank y'all. Y'all made it easy.
Well, thank you again so very much, Tony. And thank you to everyone watching. I hope that this helps you be a more informed voter when we meet as a band of brothers this summer at the National Reunion. On behalf of our producers, compatriot Vinny Balducci, Private at Meredith Pool Camp 1505, Hamilton, New Jersey, and compatriot Dennis Palmer of Secession Camp number 4, Charleston, South Carolina. Again, I'm Jonathan McLeese, Admiral Raphael Sims Camp 1321 out of Dearborn, Michigan. And we want to thank all of you for watching and joining us for this edition of Meet the Candidate 2024. God bless you. God bless Dixie, and Deo Vendici.
Deo Vendice.